Historically, you had some ideas and technology was the barrier, whereas today it's your ideas struggle to keep up with the technology. It's almost reverse. I always think that Clay is kind of an elite version. It kind of has a lot of data enrichment capability, but it is powered by AI. The first time you try it and it doesn't work, don't write it off, but stick to those initial use cases of, I know these will deliver impact.
Hi guys, welcome to Exec On AI, the podcast by execs for execs working on AI. I'm so happy to receive today Danny Lovatt.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Inviting me.
So you work at Hive?
Correct, yeah. We are a B2B events business.
Yes.
Running events just like
inbound
where we are today. Based out in London in the UK. We have offices in New York, in Brazil, and smaller offices globally.
So nice, so nice. And you know, what I love about Hive is the way you are communicating about your brand. So basically on your LinkedIn page, it's saying, we want to connect communities for individuals to flow, for companies to grow, for community to thrive, and then industry to pioneer so that the world move forward. And I'm like, this is exactly what we want to do in this podcast. We want to impact overall. So, hey, you're on the right spot. Thank you so much. I'd love to get to know you a little bit better.
Okay.
So what about to tell us what you do at Hive? And also, I would love to know how you started creating AI agents.
So I've been working for Hive now for sort of 7 years. My background has always been data and automation. So with automations, particularly in the marketing space, which is what brought me to Hive 7 years ago. And for the last sort of most of 6 years, I've managed all of our digital marketing campaigns. So our email campaigns, paid advertising, and our HubSpot account, which brings me here. In 2025, moved into a new role as head of data operations and innovation, which really frees me up to be an individual contributor in the space of AI and innovation. So I still very much look after our data architecture in HubSpot and have that kind of left brain, if you like. But then the other half of my brain is freed up to think about AI and innovation and better ways of doing things, really, particularly in the marketing and sales space.
So is this when you started using AI, when you moved from marketing to data ops and innovation?
Certainly it's escalated, accelerated the use of it. I've always been fascinated by any new technology, really.
Okay, so tech savvy.
Yeah, like as soon as ChatGPT came out, as soon as Agent.ai came out, I'd be the first one there trying to play around. But yeah, the role now really, there's a lot of responsibility on driving our adoption of it across marketing teams,
I'm so curious about the AI agent creation. Is that something you find hard? Is this something you would recommend to any exec?
Yeah, I think it's definitely, like a lot of things, I think there's an initial learning curve. But I think a lot of the agents I initially were building were for me to an extent. So things that would help me, whether that is personally or in my sort of profession. So I kind of know what I'm expecting it to do. I know the steps for it to take. I'm not trying to build an agent to do something I have no idea to do myself. Starting simple and small and then accelerating from there. Really.
Love that. I was having a conversation yesterday with a friend who was telling me, I believe the future is about people building agents. I was like, I'm not sure actually, because I feel building agents is like learning how to make a search on Google. I feel like software is supposed to do the agent for you and do the work for you, so people don't have to worry about building that. But that's another story. Let's go concrete. So I would love to hear, when was the first time that you saw AI as not a hype, but real, when you had a serious conversation around it saying, oh, there's actually a problem that it's solving or an opportunity that it's bringing?
Yeah. I think personally, as I sort of mentioned, being responsible for data, as is in the case with everybody you speak to, data is messy and it's unstructured. And sort of managing a marketing team, you see the knock-on impacts of that in terms of, we can't do this, we can't do that, we can't give you this piece of insight. And so for me, just being able to clean up data, analyze data at speed is the sort of real main way you'll actually, this is doing things I can sort of do, but it takes me quite a long time. Man can now transform data, I can analyze, so that I'm not spending most of my day doing the crunching, but most of my day is what do we do with this piece of information we now have? What do we do with this clean data? So it allows you to use more of the good side of you than the... Sorry.
Well, makes sense. I think you got really my interest in here, and I believe a lot of execs will feel the same. This is a struggle we've been hearing for years, and it feels like people are still struggling today with this. What did you do concretely? How are you using AI to clean your data, to have a better data for your marketing campaigns?
So we're obviously a HubSpot customer. We also use other tools such as Clay.
Yeah.
And rather than kind of historically, a lot of data cleaning is taking data into spreadsheets and manipulating it offline and then reinforcing it in systems. And I think the beauty of tools like HubSpot and Clay and where we use it now is automated cleaning, automation.
Okay.
So again, pushing data in from HubSpot to Clay, transforming
for
it.
people who don't know Clay, can you just give a little bit more context?
Certainly. Yeah, so Clay is essentially a GTM tool. The way I always describe when people talk to me about Clay is, I think people are sort of familiar with Zoom Info, and I always think that Clay is kind of an elite version. It kind of has a lot of that kind of data enrichment capability, but it is powered by AI. You control the data points you want, you control the transformation of data, which is really powerful, especially when you have your own internal taxonomies and internal definitions of companies. It allows you to take your data points and overlay that with the external.
So what does happen concretely? So you connect HubSpot with Clay?
So yeah, typically HubSpot will be our sort of marketing CRM, and we'll push data directly from there into Clay. Within there, we'll then pick all of the data points where either we want to clean it or we want to validate, or just entirely new data points that we never had before. That will all take place in Clay through their AI workflows, and then
so you don't have to say manually which data you want to clean.
No. So again, it will pick up lists in HubSpot, pull them in real time. As soon as new data is added to that list, they'll come to us an always-on data cleaning machine.
Okay, so you do set up some criteria, right?
Yeah, so there's an initial setup in terms of the data you want to clean, prompting it with the prompts you need. But once you hit that switch and switch it on, it's been just run for
amazing. Yeah, okay. So now you have data available to make your campaign and you go faster.
Exactly.
That's really cool. I would love to have a walk through your first real AI project as well. So this is helping you clean the data and then have a powerful campaign. Is there any aha moments that you have when you thought, oh my God, this is working. Like, this is really changing my life?
Yeah, good question. Again, managing big teams, a lot of the biggest challenges you face are often resource, right? You're asking teams to do a lot of different things. They're not happy, you're not happy. And so I think the biggest moment where we really start to see this is, and it's a very simple, and it's a story, but is in a copy space. It's in writing copy. So I think there's probably a lot of companies out there that sympathize where it's never top of someone's priority list to write the copy. They've always got hundreds of other things going on. Yeah. And it's one of the simplest, most accessible use cases for AI. And we did this in HubSpot to help us with first drafts, whether that's subject lines or email copy, rather than our teams having to think from the ground up. They're editing, they're playing with something, they're working with AI. Yeah. On one side doing that, we were seeing increases in our open rates and our engagement. But more importantly, I think as a team manager is the workload being lifted in with the burden on people to have to think all the time. And especially if you have a marketing team that work across multiple products in completely different industries, the ability to flick a switch of writing one moment about oil and the next about shopping was very challenging, but AI doesn't suffer maybe some of those same. They can flip that switch instantly.
I love that you're saying that, because we do believe that we are all able of multitasking, but then when it comes to actually doing it, nobody is really able to do it unless you are so familiar with something that you do it without thinking about it. And it's funny because we are inbound and we had so many announced during the event about exactly how to get the good contact identified with the good message to be able to draft something that is already in your box and you can just go through the process, read, and make sure that it's relevant to your business and just go for it. So it's so aligned. Thanks for sharing this. I'm going to move to the third point, which is from data to impact, really. As head of data ops and innovation, I'm sure you see both of the foundation and cutting edge of AI. How do you balance at Hive getting the data right and pushing the AI into the agenda? How do you balance both of them?
It kind of feels sometimes that data and innovation and AI are the opposite ends of the spectrum. But the kind of way I always described data is actually on data incredibly creative because you have to kind of have an endpoint of what you want to do with the data. If you have a creative mindset of here's what I want to do and here's how I need the data to enable me to do that, then actually data becomes a very creative thing.
First person, I'm hearing saying that, and I agree. Actually, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, historically, you know, everyone's always said sort of bad data in, bad data out, and it's always been a problem. But it's even more important to have clean data with AI because with a colleague, you can go ifs and buts and maybe don't do this, but actually when you're rolling out agents or AI tools, if the foundation there is bad, the output of your AI is going to be bad.
Absolutely.
And trust in the AI is bad. So data is the foundation. So get that right, then the AI will naturally flow.
Oh, makes sense. Yeah, it's the engine of AI. So if the engine is wrong, then everything else will be wrong. Talking about impact, I'm also thinking, what's the hardest data-related challenge that you face to deliver value?
It's probably siloed data. A lot of businesses, again, probably face the same challenges where your data is in multiple systems and how do you get a clear view of it all in one place? I'm not going to say we've mastered that at all, but that's why, you know, in the product releases yesterday, they were talking about the data studio.
Yes.
I personally obviously can't wait to sort of get in the new data studio, which promises that ability to pull all of data from multiple sources into one.
Exactly.
Definitely something we haven't cracked, but I think with this new data studio, we hopefully can.
Yeah, I love that. Because then you can just connect all the dots and make magic happen. I'm going to move to business. Thank you, guys. Well, this is live. This is events surprises. So I would love to talk about impact outside of the business. So impact, like we were saying, is for individuals, it's for company, but it's also for society, communities, and world. So in the beginning of the podcast, we said we want to be really concrete. We want to be talking about real use cases. And I just want to hear a real story about impact on how has AI tangibly changed the way that Hyve is doing business today. Is there anything that you are not doing that you will start doing or something you were doing that you will stop doing?
Yeah, certainly for my business, we're experimenting a lot with AI internally, nowhere more so than marketing. So I think the lives of marketers, day-to-day lives, to what they were maybe 18 months ago, has fundamentally shifted. We have from very simple to writing copy. We have copy agents. We might have data analyst agents that we're building.
So this is a personal agent you build? Right?
So not just myself, other people in the business are building and playing. And I think one of my sort of favorite things about Hive is that it's very supportive of innovation, entrepreneurship. So people are encouraged to play, to learn, to try things. There isn't a sense of that sort of fear of failure.
Yeah.
Additionally, we talked early on about what we do. We run these B2B trade shows, one of which is called Bets, which is a EdTech show. It's in the UK, but we have one in Brazil, we have one in Asia.
Nice.
And certainly from a product point of view, that is where we see a lot of those AI initiatives taking place. So working with educators to see how the role AI plays in education.
Yeah. A
lot of partnership with external agencies, departments of education, to really drive that AI agenda in the space of education. And having sort of children myself, it's a really exciting AI in education. It's always on your mind. You know, what is that role going to look like in the future? How are they going to learn with AI? So and that's really exciting.
So I'm hearing this is a great opportunity for you to connect with even more people in the ecosystem in a different way.
Definitely.
I'm just curious, you were talking about the agents. On what tool are you creating those?
And so I played around with a lot of different tools. Some I find much harder than others.
Do you want to give names?
Being a kind of flood customer and exposed to people like John Mesh, who's obviously one of the smartest people.
So inspiring, yeah.
Like I was very sort of early adopter of Agent AI, and so naturally, when you find something that sort of resonates with you, go on there and build. I built things in Lovable, tried make.com and found it more challenging, and I'm by no means an expert at all, but I find it it's like a hobby. Do you know what I mean? So it's like...
Well, that's a nice hobby too. It's going to change your life. So we've been talking about impact on connection with people. Do you have any other example where you see the impact going outside the business, like really impacting maybe the society, maybe impacting the world overall?
It's a little bit like when you think of space.
Yeah.
And
the space.
Yeah, it sort of never ends, essentially. It's like where the space... And I think she's sort of similar with AI, like the exponential growth, where does it end? So the possibilities literally are endless. I've seen healthcare comes to mind. You know, as you start to get older and you have families and friends, you think this potentially revolutionizes the way you live.
Oh, sorry. I meant really like something that you have put in place at Hive where you saw that it didn't only impact your business. You were talking about communities, how people are innovating better. Did you see that already?
We're an events business.
Yeah.
As you mentioned earlier, our whole mantra is human connection. And I think actually where a lot of businesses maybe see AI as a threat almost, I think it very much as an opportunity, because actually as people spend more time using AI for parts of their life, face-to-face meetings, face-to-face conversations, events actually become even more significantly important, because it comes that human to human thing that people crave that maybe they've lost in other areas of their lives. We'll see it actually in our space, certainly positive.
I feel that too. And thanks for the transition, because my next question is about humans. We all know some people are threatened about AI. Some people are afraid about it. I'm sure you had some skeptical people around you. What was your playbook to get them on board and actually get to work with you on the AI project here?
I mentioned earlier, Hive naturally is a sort of entrepreneurial culture, a lot of encouraging people to try things, to adapt to things. A lot of those early conversations, rightly, and everybody probably felt it is, well, like, what am I going to do? Like, this is sort of going to replace me. But actually, it's the first step of that is see AI as a partner, not as a replacement. And a lot of that is really prioritizing where you need support, where perhaps you're challenged, and promote AI as that partner to make your life easier.
Partner to make your life easier. I love that.
Exactly. And initially, a lot of it is actually on the ground. People are playing, they're trying things. And as that happens, you just have those people who sort of rise to the surface almost as innovators or AI curious, which then leads to where we are today, which is we have an AI working groups, and our sort of senior leadership are very active in terms of not forcing people to. There's no mandate you have to use AI. It's very much an encouragement of what are you trying, where can you help? Let's have that face-to-face conversations of what are you trying, what am I trying, and
get people excited as well.
Exactly, that's a great thing to be a part of.
It does ring a bell to what the CEO of HubSpot was saying on stage. She was like, AI is not here to replace you. It's here to supercharge you. Exactly. So it's definitely this idea. I'm also curious about the culture at Hive. So I know there's a challenge between being innovative with AI and being responsible, you know, like data consumption, energy, also like bias, trying to make sure that, you know, there's a good use and there's a positive impact at the end of the day. How do you keep the culture balanced between innovation and responsibility?
On that, we kind of have that cross-functional involvement. So we'll have people from legal, people from IT security, people from leadership, really working as one team to sort of drive that best practice. So we've recently moved into ChatGPT Enterprise. So we now have an enterprise license across the entire company. And again, rather than just saying, here you go, it's very much a kind of, let's go through some workshops. Let's work through as a group so that everybody knows how to use it safely, securely, what information they should share, what they shouldn't share. You mentioned bias. We'll have team chats where we're sharing articles about bias. So people are constantly educating themselves on, be aware of this, cautious of this. So I think there's definitely that freedom to explore with some guardrails to keep you safe.
So I'm super curious about these guardrails, because I think this is what people are looking for. So you've been talking about training. What other guardrails do you have? Like, do you have documentation, or how does it happen in the company?
Yeah, exactly that. There's documentation, there's training. A lot of that training is also compulsory. So you don't get your accounts until you're confident that people have been through the training, because again, I think you're obviously protecting your business, but you're also protecting the individuals. Nobody wants to be the person that accidentally shares.
And your customer as well.
And the customer data, which is a priority to keep safe and secure.
So is it like 1 month's training? Like, is it every means? Is it 1 hour?
So there'll be kind of that initial, like a lot of, not just AI, but a lot of
people keep showing up.
Having those regular as well, because obviously we see AI moving so quickly, whether that's with new models or new providers. So there's an initial training, but I think it's important to have regular, quarterly, and that same applies not just to AI functionality, but IT security in general.
So would that be something that's been developed in the company? Are you leading this?
That would typically be led by our CTO and his team. I'll obviously be part of the training, but that'll be led very much from that senior level down all of that is kind of written in-house. We'll write a lot of training ourselves.
Okay, amazing. So we're going to move to the 6 questions. If you were to advise another exec that is starting their journey with AI, what would be the first 90 days move that you would suggest to them? Because I know you're tech savvy, you're passionate about it. So maybe like you feel like this is definitely the right path to start with.
It would be definitely about prioritization. It feels like, and I feel this as well, where actually there is this AI overwhelm. Like historically, you had some ideas and technology was the barrier, whereas today it's your ideas struggle to keep up with the technology. It's almost reverse. And so I know I suffer from just too many thoughts at the same time. Like, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. And actually you're overwhelmed and you tend to then deliver anything. So, if you're sitting down, it's like, what are those things that I should deliver first?
Yeah.
They might not be the most exciting. They might not be the most revolutionary, but they have business impact. They make your life easier and better. Start with those and stick to those. Yeah. And if at first you don't succeed, don't give up. When people first start using ChatGPT, it was like, oh, it was wrong. I'm not using it again.
Answer,
so if the first time you try it and it doesn't work, don't write it off, but just iterate, try again, but stick to those initial use cases of, I know these will deliver impact and I know they'll make my life or my team's life better.
Also, you were talking about what challenges do you need to face. So how do you balance, what cases should you start with? Because you might have different challenges, something you are passionate about, maybe something that is really making you struggle in your day-to-day. What do you prioritize? What's you're passionate about or what you're struggling with?
Definitely, it's kind of what you're struggling with, because they're the things that are ultimately either making you miserable or making you inefficient because they're drowning you and you're struggling to deliver. So it is sometimes very easy to get like shiny object syndrome and you're attracted to the really cool cases. I know, like I say, I suffer from that, but really honing in on those really difficult ones.
And is there any one maybe experiment you think that any exec should experiment? I know you were talking a lot about data, for example. Yeah. So what would it be, this one experiment every exec should be doing?
I mean, I feel like if I was bringing on a new exec or talking to somebody about it, then I would really encourage people to build an agent as...
Oh, yeah.
It can be something as simple as translate this YouTube video into a long-form article or just something that gets you familiar with the way the tools work. Don't pick something that's very difficult. Don't pick something that's not going to make an impact, but something that's very small. Because the satisfaction you get by doing that, then you're hooked in and you're going to keep building.
And suddenly you're less scared as well about, how does it work? What does it mean for the business? Love that. Looking forward, what excites you the most when we look at the events area, which is basically where you're thriving? How does it? Yeah, sorry, English is not my native language, but what's excited you the most about the next wave of AI in events?
A lot of what we do is bringing people together. So whether that is manufacturers with buyers or whether that is with store owners, and accelerating that, making sure that everybody's event experience is unique, that they find the right people, that they network with the right people. And AI allows us to crunch data and mix and match at such big scale. You create a personalized sort of event experience where everybody walks away having met the suppliers, met the contacts, been to the right sessions, and feel like that was a good 2, 3, 4 days.
It's so interesting because in a world where technology is so present, we've seen that people are struggling to connect with others. It's actually even harder for people to get the phone and get a call. Like it's that easy as that. Like people don't do calls anymore. So I love that you're saying, well, actually AI could help to reconnect people, help them. Well, I'm looking forward to that. We're almost done. I know I'm like asking too many questions. I appreciate your patience. So thanks so much. I want to dream big today with you. If anything could be possible, what would be one use case you would love to be trying?
I suppose to an extent it is kind of what I just mentioned. I think like I will obsess about that personal touch. So whether every interaction you have with a company being personal, from whether that is emails you receive, phone calls, whether that's the ads you see, the website, giving people a truly personalized end-to-end experience. I feel for years now, there have been little bits of that you can start to do, but it feels like we're in an age now where it's actually possible to deliver that. That is definitely what, when I get back to the UK, I want to start building.
I'll let you guys, because this is definitely something I'm interested about. I'm going to close with 2 last questions. My first one is, what's your definition of using AI for impact? What does it mean for you? And for your business as well?
Well, yeah, it's like like anything, there needs to be a purpose to what you're doing. Every action you take should serve a purpose. So impactful AI would be where it delivers a purpose. And whether that is something you've built to make your life easier or to make your business more successful or to make your customers happier, having a purpose and delivering it with the help of AI.
Oh, that's beautiful. And this is with my last question.
Okay.
If you had to capture your AI journey in just 3 words, what would they be?
AI moves very fast. You have to learn fast. You pick stuff up fast. It's exciting. I have to say, I love playing around, learning, constantly learning and challenging yourself. Fast, exciting, and it's just a little bit scary. Maybe.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much, Danny. It was so interesting. Thanks so much for making it.
Okay, thank you.